Cup's about winning trophies. I'm inexperienced in a lot of those things.
3-0.
Can you believe it?
Almost lost the cup and you win it. The new European champions, the treble, the dream come true for you.
Oh, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Football, bloody hell. But they never give in. And that's the winner.
Welcome to the American Red Devils podcast. I'm John.
I'm Alex.
And we are bringing you the best Manchester United news from this side of the pond.
Ooh, sir, how you doing? How you doing? United does the business in the second leg of the quarterfinals of Europe's most prestigious trophy, sir, the Europa League. Hey, we started strong. Big 2-0 win. Headed on to play Roma in the next round. Mkhitaryan, Chris Smalling, where you at? Should be fun. How we doing? How we doing?
Look, you know, when it should be easy, and it is easy, you love to see as a United fan, Granada come to Old Trafford, sir. It was always those banners in the background. There are too much red in the stadium. That's why we struggled at home. Eddie, the genius Ed Woodward, switched it up. Ole had his gray shirt moment like Sir Alex Ferguson. And obviously United do the business easy. Cavani, early goal. I mean, when was the last time we scored that early in a match? I can't remember. I mean, that's what you like to see from United. And look, Shaw out. Maguire out, Rashford out, and we didn't even notice Telles played great. Cavani played great. And Tuanzebe played great. Finally, some rotation, some forced rotation, and we looked great.
We looked great. There are legs on the bench, and it was good to see. Like you said, forced rotation with no Maguire, no McTominay, no Shaw, but everybody that was asked to step up did. Even Rashi, who needed a much-needed rest. Thank goodness he didn't get to play today. Not against Granada's side. It was awesome to see. So tell us with some good play. Mach, I thought he looked good, and Tuanzebe sliding in very well with Lindelof. Even De Gea, world number 2 at the moment, had a couple big saves, so sure, good result. I like that Ole took the 11 so seriously. I thought United came out super hot, got the goal, and then Pogba wanted to just be unleashed, and somehow he got a yellow. And then to sum up at halftime because he was going to get sent off, but he looked like a man on a mission. I don't know why he got that yellow after he got fouled.
I mean, shithousery FC, that's what we call Granada these days. I mean, if we didn't have that game against Tottenham, I would say they're the worst we've ever seen. But yeah, Granada, they tried to roll. They tried to get Pogba sent off. Their game plan didn't work, you know. And United is on through to another semifinal, sir. It's only a semifinal, though. Ole, 5 semifinals in 2 years. We have lost 4 of them coming to this one. Must-win stuff for Manchester United over 2 legs against the Italian side, Roma. Henrik Mkhitaryan, our midfield Armenian, coming back to Old Trafford, and Smalling might feature. He was injured, though. What do you make of that? Juicy fixture here.
Juicy fixture indeed. Mkhitaryan was our magic man, if you remember correctly, in the Europa League. He played very well in the run-up to winning that piece of silverware. Sir, it's, you know, they're a little bit, before we move on to Roma, Granada, I want to talk about Granada. They're like the Spurs of the Liga, man. They're really just making a meal of everything. From literally the first kickoff, they dove, you know, on a headed ball. So, hey, if you're going to play a certain theme, they played it all the way. But Roma, I mean, it's a cup competition. They're struggling. They're 7th place, I believe, at the moment in Serie A, but they're going to come out to win, right? Everyone that's in the Europa League is important to them, so can't take anything lightly. League, you know, can we keep the pressure on City? Can City slip up? They got a lot of competitions to worry about, but it's going to be exciting. It's the business end of the season. Lots to look forward to. Maybe have some fans in the stadium by the end. A couple at least.
Yeah, and City getting that win against Dortmund, moving on in the Champions League semifinal, sir. I don't like that, but you know, that was a tough one. They got a bunch of calls that went their way in that match, unfortunately.
They got a bunch of calls in both legs. They got the Bellingham, who, God, we should have signed. I mean, speaking of all the misses that Ed Woodward's had, like Jude Bellingham looks a player. Holy crap, 17 years old. Boston things. Talking about Sancho and Erling Haaland, but Bellingham looks the real deal.
Arguably, we should have both Haaland and Bellingham on our team, and then essentially we should be signing Sancho from Dortmund. And it's just like seeing those two players play so well for Dortmund in the Champions League. You're just like, God damn it, Eddie, what a moron, you know.
Such a moron.
And actually, the one comment I made earlier about Eddie, it's like, dude, the red banners at Old Trafford when they're wearing red jerseys. That point just like it is really stupid that they decided to go with those. It totally makes sense, and they switched it up. I think that isn't something to blame, but it would create a lot of confusion compared to fans wearing jerseys in the stands, right?
No doubt, because you have, not everybody's wearing a perfectly red jersey. There's going to be a combo of people not wearing jerseys at all. Hopefully some green and gold as well. You want to see that at Old Trafford. But I would imagine Ole told him like 4 months ago, and he just got around to changing it. I know he didn't just tell him, and he like hopped to it. Woodward always does everything a day late, dollar short. But hey, the boys did the business today. Granada tried to pull us down into the muck. You knew they would. But all that matters is got the win, another clean sheet, and some good rotation. That was great to see. No injuries, knock on wood, it seems like, from that game. So let's kick on. Burnley the Builders, my man. It's going to be, it's going to be ugly. It always is when we play them.
You know what this game shows me, though, sir? This is like, first of all, we're back. Beating Spurs, dusting Granada. Like the first Granada match, that was boring. This one, totally different brand of football and different players, right? And so it's kind of like that mood around December and January when Cavani was scoring and they were kind of sharing the love and opportunities and chances were coming from everywhere. I feel that kind of vibe right now with United. It's the perfect time to have it. We talked about the international break and we need to finish strong. I think this team has got the mojo, especially when you can rest Shaw, Maguire, and Rashford. He definitely needs it. But this shows me we can't lose Paul Pogba and we can't lose Edison Cavani. It would be a crime for him to go to South America. He's going to Bocas, right? It's like they're talking about the deal. He's probably leaving. In my transfer Muppetry meter, it's like 80 to 85, he's out. But watching him play with this team, Greenwood, the influences he has on the youngsters, the vibes when he's celebrating, I don't know how he can leave. And you see that with Pogba too. You see them playing well. This team is starting to gel into something finally at the end of the season. And to lose those two, irreplaceable at the moment.
And they're two different cases, sir. Before we're going to have a nice meaty intro before we even get into it. But you're absolutely right. Cavani's got a lot more to give. Obviously, he's at the end of his career, and then eventually wants to return to South America. But we should definitely, we're not going to be buying Erling Haaland this summer, no big name striker. So keeping him around to continue to mentor Greenwood and Rashford. He is such a player. And I think if he, scores some more goals, they win something this year, that could be the hook in him to stay an extra year. I think like if you're part of something, it kind of gives it a momentum. We're like, yeah. And he also hasn't a chance to play in front of OT faithful. Like he hasn't played in front of fans. So not having that element to it, I think is like one of the great aspects of being a Manchester United player is scoring in front of the home fans. Some of the best fans in the world.
Totally, but it's like his movement up top, and you can see it, like how he's getting his goals and like how much the youngsters can learn from him. Plus, like another year will help us bridge the gap to get the next striker in. It's just like at the moment, Cavani, like we need him next year for sure. And if we need to replace him, you're relying on old Eddie, and I don't think it's going to go too well, sir. What an intro. Let's get into the PSA for the podcast. If you like the American Red Devils, we are for fans, by fans. We have no private sponsors on the podcast. We want to be supported directly by the fans, sir. We think the best way to support the podcast is patreon.com. You can visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/AmericanRedDevils. We have tons of fan support there, and you can donate anything from $1 a month to $20 a month. We're giving away pins, stickers, scarves, and shirts. Everything you do supports this podcast, keeps the lights on in the bunker, and supports our website too. That is also fan-generated content, or independent fan content. That's what it's about. It is 2021, and we need that voice against the Glazers, against Ed Woodward. They control a lot of the press. A lot of the press are beholden to Manchester United for access, etc. And we just wanted the fan forum giving that bias take from the couch. Sir, check out our website, www.americanreddevils.com. Our blog there is amazing. You're the editor-in-chief, killing it. We have some amazing merch on our website, too. Everything you buy goes to support this podcast and independent fan content, sir. You will not hear us selling Maui Jim sunglasses on this pod.
Not anytime soon, sir. Not, even if Eddie's giving them out for free, we're going to give it to you like we see it. For fans, by fans, we're all about that. Another great way you can support the pod is you can write an iTunes review. It is huge for us to get found organically, and it's absolutely free. This is what you have to do. Write a 5-star review on iTunes. If it's cheeky, even better. There's been some great cheeky banner recently. We appreciate it. Send a screenshot to americanreddevils@gmail.com with your mailing address, and we will get you some free Stan Chow design stickers to your door. Absolutely free. And it's a great way to support the pod without spending any money, sir. American Red Devils, it's all about covering the greatest football club in all the land, Manchester United.
Yeah, and a portion of your support also goes to buy some, refurbished DJ equipment for Hans and Franz, who, their career is struggling. They didn't get the new Champions League theme remix deal, so they got dropped to Europa League. We've been playing them every week here at the American Red Devils, sir. Can you drop that beat from our boys?
Let's hit it. Sir, the farther we go in the tournament, the more that grows on us.
That's right. We're talking Manchester United 2, Granada 0, 4-0 on aggregate. 2 clean sheets. We absolutely dusted the team that is pretty much non-existent in La Liga, sir. At Old Trafford, you'd love to see it. Europa League quarterfinals. Let's get into that lineup. We had De Gea, the world number 1 in net. At least by the money, he's number 1. Telles at left back, Tuanzebe, Lindelof center back pairing. Great to see Tuanzebe back in. Wan-Bissaka on the right, Matic, Fred midfield, Pogba on the left, Fernandes in the hole, Greenwood on the right, and Cavani up top. Sir, what'd you make of this lineup?
Sir, when I saw this lineup, I was actually very excited. What I saw was ambition and taking Granada seriously, right? We're not going to have another let up like we did against RB last game in the group stage where we just got sliced open. This was not an RB side, but Matic, Fred, right? And you got no Maguire. You have a defensive linchpins in the middle. And then you have, arguably, without Rashford involved, the strongest front four you have at Manchester United. So what's not to like? It's a rotation. It's like, is this what it took to get Tuanzebe in? I thought he played great today and has a lot to offer.
Yeah, that's one that doesn't make sense to me. I mean, he actually put Mbappe in his pocket in the Champions League earlier in the year, and then we haven't really seen much of him. I don't know what maybe Ole doesn't rate him. Who knows? Ole kind of has that cold feet for certain players, and Tuanzebe seems to be one of them because you love to see that rotation. He comes into this game and hasn't played in a while. Looked great. Absolutely looked great. We didn't miss Maguire.
No, we did. I mean, it's Granada side, but hold on a second, sir. It's about to get... I'm going to be blasting that song in late May when we win the Europa League on a Wednesday night. It's on a Wednesday night, by the way. I did not know that. No, I think I want to talk about that point you were mentioning about Ole either not rating players. I think it's more he just when he has something that works, he just rides it. He just rides it until he can't no longer. And Tuanzebe, along with Telles, along with Matic, are players that have a lot to offer. So, give him a sniff.
No, let's get into the match. Let's go.
Sir, United came out to play. From the jump, it looked like we were going with conviction, and it did not take long. In the 6th minute, El Matador.
Se mueve Pogba en el área. La pelota para el francés, la peina para Cavani de primera. ¡Gol! ¡Gol! Del Manchester United. Al minuto 6 la combinación. Pogba, Cavani y es el Charrúa 1-0.
1-0, sir. Great little kickback from Pogba, and what a finish from Cavani. Like we said, not enough early goals this season, but that's the way to start this game.
We need to see more of it, and, shout out to Telles. Great ball in. Pogba with the run, right? He's free. He's up. He's in the box. And then what a header. That sixth sense just says, hey, Cavani's there, heads it back, and what a finish. Cavani, please stay. Please stay.
I think every goal he scores, it might be a little nugget of convincing him to stay a little bit longer. I certainly hope so. Silverware would help. So the game started hot. United seemed to be tripping over themselves a little bit. They had opportunities to break. We didn't always get that pass right. So there wasn't a ton of action in that first half. 20th minute.
So the Pogba yellow?
The Pogba yellow is notable. Like, he got fouled. he basically shook off 2 guys, and then somehow they called like a McTominay on Son equivalent where he touched this guy in the face, went down like a pile of bricks, and somehow Pogba got a yellow card. And at that point, he looked like a man possessed. He was like Pogba looked ready to play.
Look, Pogba knows how to use his body, and I think it was 2 Granada midfielders that were kind of coming up on him, and then he elbowed both of them in the face. So like he kind of knows how to cheekily raise the arm, right? And I think he did it on both of them. Pogba getting the yellow early, I thought it was, it was probably a foul. Yellow, I don't know, but it was kind of everyone was kind of full of it, right? Pogba with the elbow, the Granada guys going to the ground and also trying to foul him in the first place. So, I say there's no yellow. And then after that, there was another challenge, tackle from behind. This one close. Glad the ref didn't pull the second one, because if we missed Pogba for the semifinal, that would be terrible.
You're going to miss Pogba for the semifinal. You're also going to have to, if we have a 3-goal lead, but you lose a man, all bets are off, right? So good to make the change when they did. We'll get to that in a second. But it's a good point, sir. That kind of changed the game. United cooled off. Pogba cooled off a little bit as soon as that happened. I think they were so rash with the first yellow that the second yellow would have been, a little harsh.
We've seen crazier things, sir.
Certainly have. Last good bit of things that happened in the first half was Bruno in the 34th minute had a really decent chance after Matic picked him out with a great ball over the top. Bruno tried to take it first time, blasted it over, but you love the quality in Bruno. I thought he looked great today.
This is like, RVP light. You think of that Rooney to RVP. This one's just like a 25-yarder, not quite a 50-yarder, but Bruno almost puts it in. What a hit from our Portuguese Magnifico. And Matic looking sharp today. Obviously, like you said, every time we say someone looked good, you could say it's Granada. Totally, I agree. But seeing Matic picking a pass, a CDM who knows how to thread the needle, Fred could, hopefully that could rub off on our boy Fred.
Fred could learn a lesson there, too. Even today, he had a couple scratchy passes. Team had a couple scratchy passes at that moment in that first half. That was basically all she wrote, but it's a good point. Matic, he just knows how to position his body. He's got really good awareness. I think he's a player that's leaving, right? He's out of contract this year or the next, but he still has a role to play, I think, unless you replace him.
He has some off days. He has had off days. Sometimes he's on, sometimes he's off. And I think that happens as you kind of get a little older. But against Granada, he was pulling the strings. You love to see it, sir. First half, we're up 1. What were you thinking?
Get Paul Pogba off the field, right? That was the obvious choice. I'm glad that Ole made that choice because he was running hot. They were targeting him. And, dude, you know what Granada was doing. They weren't coming out to play football. They were coming out to, shithousery the game, get players sent off. They were trying. They dove into every tackle, and they fell down like they got, hit by a baseball bat, sir. But I'm glad the switch was made. And go out there, finish the job, put them to bed. Let's move on to the semis. I hope Ole was saying that.
And remember, Donnie came in like for like, right? So you're looking at him getting up the pitch, and he looked great. Him and Bruno with the 1-2. I think we're seeing something at Manchester United where you play 2 attacking midfielders. Hopefully we can get a great CDM this summer. Declan Rice. We'll talk about that a little later. Then you don't have to play Fred, Matic, Fred, McTominay. You can only play one, then play the pivot with, a Donnie and a Bruno, and then we're talking, sir. You don't have to do that every game. You don't do that against City. You don't do it against certain opposition, but against the Burnleys of the world, yeah, you get away with it,
No, I love this. I love the 2-10s. I think that's been really good with United when it's Bruno and Pogba, and I thought Donnie had a lot to offer today. He's got great vision, great awareness of space. It was good to see him play. So anyway, hopping in that second half, sir, like you said, halftime sub, Donnie comes on for Pogba. Good for him to get a full half of football. Granada had the early chance, 50th minute, decent headed chance. And then all of a sudden Greenwood has a really good chance at the other end. United broke. Snap stuff here on both sides of the pitch. But
the Greenwood chance, that one is big because Donnie, perfect ball in, right? If you look at this, it's the similar thing with Pogba. Look at Pogba getting into that space. Then Bruno's getting into that space. And there's curling these dunk header balls in. We've talked about this on the pod before. Where are these crosses? Where are the chances? And now we're starting to see it, right? And Greenwood should have had this header. Donnie put on a plate. Great play from Donnie van de Beek.
Yeah, you give him a little, we give him a little space and not too much slack because he's 19-year-old. But you know what? He scored some headers like that. Cavani probably would.
Sir, you could put that in.
Sorry, I do my knee just jumping up to try and hit the ball.
So you got a big head. That wasn't that high. That wasn't that high.
Sir, if head size is indication that you can score goals, Maguire would have like 10 goals this season, bro. He's got the biggest head in the league. Speaking of headers, 56th minute, Cavani had a really good headed opportunity after a brilliant pass from Bruno Fernandes. Didn't quite connect on any, I think it kind of hit his shoulder, but it was a good opportunity for United to bury the game in the 56th minute.
No, absolutely. Again, Bruno getting in that same spot that Donny was in. Perfect ball in, and movement from Cavani, unbelievable. But a tough angle for him on the header, but it was on.
No, it was, no doubt. 60th minute, United broke again. Donny Van de Beek took a snapshot, went real close. It was actually a good hit from him. Donny, dude, he's going to get better and better. He's a young lad. Can't wait to see what he's made of.
Need to see more of him, sir, and I think hopefully we will towards the end of the season. I think Ole will start kind of changing up a little more.
I think so too. He's a player for sure. It's time for some subs, sir. 60th minute, James came on for Cavani. I love it. Cavani does not want to come off. Did not want to get subbed, but he's a big-time player, and we got to save him for the weekend. 73rd minute, Mata. How you doing, Mata? Good to see him. Came on for Bruno. Another player that doesn't want to get taken off. Bruno Fernandes never wants to miss a minute of Manchester United football. And then a double sub in the 82nd minute. Ahmad and Williams came on for Greenwood and AWB. Sir, subs. You get tired of subs yet?
No, I thought we should have saw Ahmad a little earlier. Short Tire would be good here. You know, I like Mata. I thought Mata might have started, but he probably doesn't have the fitness because he took some time. But, you know, James is the one, maybe save him for the weekend and then bring in Mata earlier. I thought, 60th minute, you're up by 3 in the tie. You could go with a little more youth. I need Ahmad, dude. After the goal he scored against AC Milan, I just want to see more of him.
No, I'm totally with you. And even today, he had some good opportunities. I forget exactly when it happened, but he was on a break and he got fouled right on the edge of the box. They didn't call anything. They didn't call it. It
was right in the late, I think it was 90th minute.
I think it was right after the 90th minute Dave saves, which was he had a big save, big classic, reactionary save from Dave, which was great to see. Still got that in his locker. And then Ahmad went to the other end, and I don't know. Didn't get a lot of calls today. Didn't expect to, but that was a little bit egregious.
Sir, and then, sometimes you can just hit it off a Granada player, get lucky. Let's go.
There we go. 90th minute.
La pelota que vino elevada, gol en contra. Manchester United, gol en contra de Jesús Vallejo.
Sir, there you go. I don't think Mata really got too much a hold of it, but that was the way the day should have gone. 2-0 United, all she wrote. 4-0 in aggregate. Just a nice professional performance. Like we said, we got to see some rotation. We got a nice goal from Cavani, an extra goal from the player on Granada, and either way, headed on to the next round, and that's all that matters.
It's an amazing game, sir. It's like you feel the wind at our sails. It's just easy. You score in the 6th minute. It's just like you're already up. It's like you're subbing people off. People are getting rest. It's like, and then it's the momentum, bringing that to Burnley, dusting them, scoring in the first 20, doing the same thing. You feel the momentum. We're back, baby, and we've been waiting for this a long time, sir. I mean, I'll tell you, the doldrums, when you're sailing, there ain't no wind. And you're running out of oranges, and you're about to get scurvy. Those nils, those are killing us, sir. We were dying.
So you don't want scurvy. I think it's lemons.
People are catching scurvy. You're throwing them overboard, sir. People might mutiny. The fans might, there might be a mutiny on the ship of Manchester United. And it's like all of a sudden the wind starts blowing. Cavani starts scoring. Let's go. It's like we're back, and I feel it. You can just feel the momentum, especially against Tottenham. And then this game, too, I think Burnley, I have great expectations. Cavani starting. It's going to be perfect, sir. We're back. We're back.
I do feel something around that. It's like, we talk about the doldrums at 2.5 months where we dropped a decent amount of points. We were grinding things out. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't as bad as people make it out to be, but for what our expectations were for a title challenge, it was a missed opportunity. But now I hear what you're saying. That Spurs game was so massive because of how much the wind was in our face and the odds against us. after that ridiculous call in the first half, that United put together like one of the best halves of football they've done under Ole. They just absolutely bossed them in the second half. And now today we were almost like tripping over ourselves with opportunities, where we could have sliced them open 3, 4.
Exactly.
And I think they're back onto something like streaking to the good, streaking to the bad. We need a good streak to finish the season. Let's put some pressure on City. They got so many competitions that they're in that maybe they slip up, sir. It's happened before.
Stats for the Granada match: United 59% of the ball to Granada's 41. Shots on target: United had 2 compared to Granada's 3, sir. But we did have 9 shots generally. They did have a lot of shots, didn't do much with it. They had 4 corners. We had 0. We fouled them more with 16. They had 12. Match reaction: after winning the first leg of European tie away from home, Manchester United progressed from all 22 such ties. That's why when I saw we were playing Roma at home first, I was like, uh-oh. For this season, Manchester United were winless in their previous 9 European games versus Spanish opposition. They have now won 3 of their last 4 by an aggregate score of 8-0. And that's because we're playing Europa League. Manchester United have reached their 18th semifinal in all European competitions. Only Liverpool have appeared in more semifinals. That's 19. And Manchester United have won 3 consecutive knockout stage games without conceding in a major European competition for the first time since April 2008. Wow.
Different European competition. Remember that.
Absolutely, sir. But what do we know? Let's check in with the manager, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Ollie, job done. Obviously, the most important thing was to get through, but there was quite a lot to reflect on there. Quite an interesting game.
Yeah, well, they do give you a game. It's a physical game. They throw bodies forward, put crosses in the box. So you're always having to defend in these types of games. And when you can't really keep the ball as well as we should do, it's more difficult. But 2-0, clean sheet, some individual good performances. So full of confidence walking into Sunday now.
Yeah, perfect start, obviously, with the early goal for Cavani, who is a poacher, isn't he? I mean, you were that kind of player yourself.
You're thinking, when Alex put the cross in, no, just keep it a little bit, and then good flick by Paul, and Edinson shows his quality.
Speaking of Paul, he was heavily involved, played well in the first half, but got involved in a few difficult moments. Did you feel you had to perhaps take him off just for his own sake at half-time?
I think, sometimes in the game, Paul wants to win so much, and he went into a couple of tackles after his yellow card as well, and I thought, I don't want to risk that.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Even though he played well, as you said.
Yeah, and obviously you don't want to risk him missing potentially the first leg of a semi-final.
Of course, we've missed 3 today, and the season's been hard enough as it is anyway.
Yeah. Now you'll know now, obviously as we do, that it's Roma.
Yeah.
In the semi-final. Thoughts on them? I don't know how much you've had a chance to see much of them.
No, I've not really seen too much of them. I know that they've had 2 good games against Ajax. They defend well, as the Italians always do. Of course, experienced team, and we all know Dzeko. So any ball in the box is a dangerous one.
Indeed, yeah.
Indeed, sir. Ole, Mr. Nice Guy, all smiles today, enjoying that win. Hey, there's plenty to smile about, isn't there?
Absolutely. Like they said, Roma drew Ajax 1-1, went through 3-2 on aggregate. Dzeko with the goal in the 72nd minute. Sir, I mean, I watched the highlights of this game, prepping for the podcast. Ajax got hard done by VAR, and, Roma don't look that great. Dzeko it was like a deflected cross that fell to Dzeko, couldn't miss from there type of situation. They get the goal. They go through. 7th in Serie A, I think, sir, we got lucky. We got Roma, but the thing is, for this Manchester United side, we got to play like we did today with confidence and just dispatch them easy, at home.
So you wouldn't prefer the ninth ranked team in Premier League? On paper, that should be worse.
I'll tell you what, I was kind of looking forward to maybe Praha bouncing Arsenal. As bad as Arsenal is, we are bad when we play Arsenal. Every single time under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Like Arsenal, we struggle more with them than we have with City, with the Scouse Bastards, with Tottenham. We do not play well against Arsenal. For whatever reason, we play down to them, and then Aubameyang usually pulls like a crazy goal out. That was an offsides VAR one, then the penalty earlier this year. So, I'm not feeling confident.
Hey, we're the most informed side in the competition. But like you said, we play up and down to our competition, and we got to take care of Roma first. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. We do have a track record of getting knocked out in semifinals. To be fair, only had 4 of them last year. I think having 1 makes it a little bit easier to focus.
We botched the FA Cup, though. I mean, that game against Leicester City, you think about them playing Southampton, that was literally it. That's the one that you want to get to the final, right? It's like I'm seeing that fixture playing this weekend. That just makes me mad just because we should be playing in that game against Southampton of all teams, sir. That was just like on a plate to get to the final.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that game. We got dogged in that game.
I know.
Got outplayed. We got outplayed by the Leicester side. But hey, would you rather be 7 points ahead of them in the league or on to the next round of the FA Cup?
Look, I'm feeling pretty comfortable, sir. I'm not sweating at all. I don't know about you with the, sitting pretty in Champions League. If we had to win Europa League to get Champions League, that'd be a whole nother story. You think of Arsenal fans sweating it out pretty hard. Looking at 538.com, they have the odds to win Europa League. Roma has 11%. They are the worst left in the competition. We're playing them. Villarreal 19%, and then the Gunners 26%. Manchester United heavy favorites, sir, at 45%. I'm confident against Roma. I'm confident we'll do it against Arsenal. But, I just, for some reason, I don't know why we struggle against them. Like, they're not good, but we always just have a bad day when we play them.
I think we give them too much respect. And we always play down to our opposition, sir. Any mid-table team, whether it's Arsenal or, Southampton, we play down to them. So I'm not worried. I think the stakes are so high because we know Champions League future is going to be set in the league. We have to win a piece of silverware. It's just like this team is made for silverware, like Bruno said, and they're fiending for one. So different, but no small game, sir. Burnley is going to be a tough one, so we can't underestimate them either.
No, and look, this is, as a fan, you're starting to think about table stakes. You're starting to think about how's the season going to finish, how's this going to look, and that's exciting. It's also makes you a little nervous too. You're just like nervous, about hey, we really need this trophy. I really want them to get it. I'd be gutted if somehow Roma spoiled it, or the Gunners spoil it in a final. And so I think we're just getting to the stage of the season where there's a lot to play for. Just doing a little more deeper dive on Roma. Like I said, 7th in Serie A, but they are in decent form as far as their Serie A league form. They've won 2, lost 2, and they've drawn 1, sir. So they're kind of all over the board. They're 9 points behind Milan. So if that gives you sort of an idea of, we beat Milan. I think they were the best team left in the comp at the time. I still think they're probably better than Arsenal.
No, definitely. I think that shows how good this team is, and I don't even think we played that well against AC Milan. So given that we're kind of getting some momentum up, that's a good sign as well, right? Because also the cup competitions that we got knocked out of last year, we were starting to kind of trip up a little bit as well, running out of steam. So it's a good time to get hot. It's an important time to get hot.
And as far as the semifinals, Thursday, April 29th, the time kickoff TBD, but that will be at Old Trafford, and then May 6th will be at the Stadio Olimpico in Rome, sir. I mean, the second leg is going to be sandwiched in between Liverpool and Villa. That's pretty big right there. The other one between Leeds and the team which should not be named. But this next week we play Burnley Sunday, and then we have a week off to play Leeds. A week off. The pod is a week off. What are we going to do? That's going to be great for getting rest for the lads. I really think it's a critical week given how busy we've been and how we're going to go into the semifinal and then the finish to the league in May.
So you're talking about beating Leicester. We'd be playing with no break, right? If we were playing in the FA Cup this weekend, you'd be playing Premier League midweek. So I do agree. A week off is like a massive luxury this season, given how condensed the games have been. So big for the team. Let's get maybe Rashford back with fitness. I wouldn't even rush him for Burnley if we don't need to, because they're brutes. They're going to beat the crap out of them.
I think Ole's going to be doing he'll be on the bench, might need him type of situation. I would agree. I think we got to be resting Rashford big time because if we get to a final, he's got to be featuring in it. As far as the final, it will be played May 26th, sir. The last game against Wolves is the 23rd. What a finish if we could finish with Wolves on the 23rd and then play a final on the 26th. Unfortunately, it is a Wednesday, so you're not going to be drowning too many dark ales. But, what a finish to a long, crazy season. Have a European Cup final on 3 days after finishing the season, locking up Champions League. So you'd love to see that.
You think I'm not going to have a dark ale at a cup final, sir? It is a little egregious. Like, right, I don't know. Champions League, was it played on Sunday? They should play it on Saturday or the other day. It's like played on the weekend. That's ridiculous to have it midweek. It is a final.
So I'm watching it. It's like,
yeah, I'm not going to miss it. I just want to be able to have a couple dark ales midday, not go back to calls.
Well, yeah, sir. You could have a dark ale, but when it comes to finals, you're talking about having a couple shells of ale,
stacking them.
But again, it's this season it's finishing in good form, sir. You love to see it. And speaking of finishing, we got a next match. It's all in the league, and this is where our bread is buttered. This is where Ole says this is where we should be measured. Our performance should be measured. It's Burnley, the Builders, coming into this game. Burnley, they've drawn Leicester 1-1, drawn the Gunners 1-1. They beat Everton 2-1, lost to Southampton 3-2, and they lost to Newcastle 2-1. So with Burnley, the better the team they play, the better they play. And they're spoilers, sir. They're looking for something here.
They are. I think I remember we had some kind of VAR nonsense when we played them early in the season. They're always a tough side, strong defensively, Old English, and it's not going to be any different this weekend. I'm glad that we're starting to get some momentum in the side, and I think I hope Ole sees that you have to go for it against teams like this. You have to play really attacking. Don't necessarily do Fred McTominay in the midfield. Switch it up a little bit. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to the Premier League weekend, sir. Can't wait.
Lifetime versus Burnley. We've won 63. We've drawn 23. We lost 45. First time we ever played, September 1892. Newton Heath versus Burnley. We drew 1-1, sir. Our last game against Burnley, we won 1-0. Sir, before the game prior, January 2020, we lost 2-0. And then prior to that, we hadn't lost against Burnley for 10 years, if you can believe it. So as far as Burnley goes, we've only lost to them twice. Only 2 losses to Burnley since 1968. So we shouldn't be losing to Burnley.
Yeah, how long have they been in the Premier League? So we weren't playing them that many times, but I hear what you're saying. They're a team that we should be rolling, but they're a well-organized side,
I'm telling you, I can't count them right now because on the website that would be obnoxious, but it's probably 30.
Damn. Okay.
30 matches. A lot of draws, though. That's the thing about Burnley. Lots of draws. They grind it out, and you know what they're going to do. They're going to pack it in. So that's why I want Ole, like you said, to kind of overcompensate and really just like a Donny, Bruno, something like that. You'd love to see.
No, totally. And we should take it to them. Let's not play conservatively. Let's take it to them. Turn the screws. Old English against proper Manchester United side playing exciting football. We all want to see it. Unleash the Kraken. Let's do it.
Burnley, little history. Were founded in May 18th, 1882. One of the first to become professional, sir. They were paying players under the table. It's been a long time since they paid players back in 1883. And then now you have De Gea making $350,000 a week. Can you believe it? In 1882, a little history. The first demonstration of making pancakes was held at a department store in New York City, sir. I could go for a stack of pancakes on May 26th, the morning Manchester United play in the European Cup final. What about you?
I like the sound of that. I'm a pancake guy, my friend. That's why I included that little stat in the history. Going all the way back.
Burnley, they've been champions of England twice. They've done it 2021, 59-60. They've won the FA Cup once, 13-14, sir. They won the Charity Shield twice, 1960, 1973. They are one of 5 sides to have won all 4 professional divisions of English football, along with Wolves, Preston North End, Sheffield United, and Portsmouth. What a stat. Obviously, they play at Turf Moor. We like to call that Turf Mordor, sir. They play in the claret and blue. similar to Aston Villa, and they are nicknamed the Clares because of their dominant color of the home shirt, sir. The current emblem is their coat of arms, but it looks like Legos, so you and me call them the Burnley the Builders. I don't know. There's some unique American Red Devils nicknames that probably people don't understand. We call them Burnley the Builders.
We got like a million nicknames, my man. So it's part of what we do. But hey, we know what to expect. They are still a bit, they got their points above water in terms of the relegation zone, but they're not taking us lightly. They still got I still got to fight in them. If they start losing, all of a sudden you don't know what's going to happen. So they're going to come out to play. They're going to play tough. And Old Trafford hasn't necessarily been the fortress that it used to be. But maybe that's because we had those red banners and now they're black. So that could be all the difference.
They're 7 points off the drop right now with 33. So they're doing pretty good, sir. They're tied on points with Brighton down at the bottom of the table. So, Burnley, hey, they're going to be coming in not expecting much, but I think they're going to try to spoil it with a draw, play super defensive. And we're just going to have to, break them down like we should. Hopefully Cavani can get an early goal. Let's jump into injuries, physioroom.com. Marcus Rashford, he has that foot injury. Now, I'm just speculating here, but I think this foot is, pretty injured. I think he's going to need surgery in the summer. I don't think he's going to Euros. I think this is one of those injuries where he can play, but it's painful, and he's kind of putting off the surgery and recovery. That is just me reading the tea leaves with this one. I don't know how he's going to make it through the Euros with this foot injury.
No, I think he's been hurt for a while. I think his agent said he's been hurt for 2 years. Certainly needs some rest, probably needs surgery. I think if he's going to gut it out for the Europa League, don't think he'd want to gut it out for, European status for England. I think that's also quite important to the young lad. So I think if he's going to gut it out, he's going to keep gutting it out.
It could be something though. He seems like to be coming off limping, it's something. They obviously wouldn't say it, but we'll see. I just hope he gets some rest this summer. Bailly again, he is out as well. He is back from COVID quarantine, but he is not available for a match yet. Phil Jones back in training. New signing. Ed Woodward, where you at? Ed Woodward, new signing. Philly.
Sign him up to another 4-year contract. So I can get another pink Lambo.
No, I love our the American Red Devils fans on Twitter. They're tweeting us. Look, a new signing from Ed Woodward. There you go. Yeah, it's like
best fans in the world.
Martial, knee injury, probably out for the rest of the season. So given those injuries, you know it. What is your lineup?
Sorry, I did not steal this from you, I promise. Here's my lineup. I got Hendo in net. Who else? AWB, Lindelof, Maguire, and Shaw. I'm going to do Matic, Donny van de Beek, and Pogba, Bruno, Greenwood, Cavani. Let's go. Attack.
I'm going to say Hendo, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw. Same back four. I'm doing the Fred McTominay, Pogba, Bruno, Greenwood, Cavani. I think Ole's going to go right back. Fred McTominay playing them in the league. He likes those guys. I think we're going to see it again. Booking the bookies, Manchester United, big favorites, -300 to win, +420. And then for the draw, and then Burnley to win, +850. First-time goal scorer is Edison Cavani, +360. Then Bruno and Marcus Rashford behind him. And then Ahmad gets a shout as well. Would love to see Ahmad feature in this game, sir.
Would love to see Ahmad feature in this game. It will not be a start, but it'd be good to see him off the bench. And hopefully it's not because of injury, but Mason Greenwood, I feel like, is due for another goal. He looks like him and Cavani have a real partnership going on.
I love the Cavani-Mason vibes. Given those are what the bookies got, you got your lineup. What is your score prediction for this match against Burnley?
So I think 3-1. I think Burnley got an early one, maybe a scrappy VAR decision, and United wake up, turn it on. 3-1, do the business. Maybe City starts sweating. They got a game midweek.
Gonna call 1-0. Remember that Wolves game earlier in the year when we scored at the death? I think it's gonna be one of those. Just pretty boring. Burnley packing it in. Not a lot of action, but United break through at the death. Sir, United in the news. Eric Bailly ready to reject new contract offer. Wow, something's going on with our boy Eric Bailly. This gets me nervous. Bailly's boys with Pogba. Bailly's on the outs. He had the COVID quarantine coming back from internationals. Ole seems to be kind of ghosting him. Things are going cold for Bailly with the contract. How are you feeling about this one? You just going to let him go?
I mean, I think it's a little unfair to say that Ole is ghosting him. He was playing and then he got injured, like he often gets injured. And then he comes back from international duty and he gets COVID, which is a bummer. But, dude, it's hard to break into the two center back pairing, and he has a very poor injury record, to be fair. I think, I read a stat that Harry Maguire already has more appearances for Manchester United than Eric Bailly, and Eric Bailly has been around for two years longer. And that's not just because of, form, that's because of injuries. So, I don't know, man. I get it, but I want to keep Eric Bailly. Even injured Eric Bailly, I think he's has a lot to offer on his day. He has the potential to be like a world-class defender because of his speed and physicality, but he does have injury concerns, bro. He's kind of like a better Phil Jones.
No, like Eric Bailly, I think he was the perfect replacement for Vidic. He just made a glass, and when you have players that are made of glass, you can't rely on them. And he's one of those. So, this is probably the Ed Woodward special. Probably going to leave with a gripe against United. Probably going to leave with a gripe against Ed Woodward. And Ed Woodward's probably going to do it in a classless way, which is unfortunate because we end up paying Phil Jones a lot of money to be injured. And, we're not willing to re-up Eric Bailly, who, like you said, is better. But given his track record, man, it's just one of those where, help me help you. Like you said, the Maguire appearance stat. So as far as center backs go at Manchester United, I'm looking past Phil Jones and Bailly together. I'm looking at Tuanzebe and then adding another body in the summer. And obviously we'll get to that a little later here in the transfer news.
So does this go on the list of deals for the summer to add to Eddie Woodward's huge list of buys that he already has to make? Does he go and try and dish?
We need 4.
Who are the 4?
He needs to.
I know the 4. I'm just telling our fans. What are the 4?
Tuanzebe, Lindelof, Maguire, and then insert new body here and probably Phil Jones as the, training Muppet.
I thought you meant we need 4 transfers. Sorry, sir.
No,
Which
I was talking about center backs.
You do need like a center back, a CDM, a right winger, and a striker, arguably. So.
No, we need a center back, and you're assuming and that's the whole point, which is I love Eric Bailly as a person. I think the whole thing that sucks here is there's never been more of a likable player, right? The vibes with him and Zlatan and Pogba, you love to see it, but realistically at Manchester United, it's time to look past the Baillys and the Joneses. It's not happening, and we need another center back in. And I think Tuanzebe is perfect for that 4 slot, competing with another youngster trying to get into the ranks with Lindelof and Maguire being the 2 starters. Obviously, I think that bringing in some young blood will make Lindelof and Maguire kind of up their game. Or maybe Lindelof. I like to see Lindelof up his game.
I thought he looked good today, taking over Maguire's spot. I thought he looked very assured and strong, and that was good.
It's Granada.
I know it's Granada. Shithousery, kings of the world.
I love that. Anytime you compliment a player, it's Granada.
I know, but still.
It's Granada.
Still. They're a mighty 7th in the Liga. You think Woody's going to go for an established center back, or do you think he's going to do a youngster, someone that just kind of get in the pecking order and fight for 3rd spot?
Sir, you grew up in New Jersey, right?
I believe so.
How you go to my mom. One of my favorite stores for my mom was Marshall's. They got the name brands, but they're discounted. We're going to Marshall's. We're getting a center back at Marshall's. Now, first of all, there's nothing funny about shopping at Marshall's because that's where I got all my clothes growing up in New Jersey, and I got some great brands at a discount price. So I'm hoping Ed Woodward and John Murtaugh and can do the deal.
I like that. I wasn't laughing at Marshall's. I was just laughing at the analogy. I thought that's great. Bringing me back to Jersey. Hey, I'm all about good deals. Maybe.
Hey, sir, if you get a polo shirt for $30 and it might not be the color you want, it's it
might not fit quite right, especially after you wash it.
It might be a large, but it might need a medium, but you get a large. You never know.
It's funny. I like the Villarreal swap deal. Pau Torres is a player we've been attached to for a long time. Maybe they want to do a deal. Maybe Bailly goes back. I think Torres is also out of contract soon. I think we need someone that can slot in as number 2, that compete for Lindelof's spot.
Yeah, you really want somebody who could do 2.5. You don't want to insult Lindelof, but you want to bring in someone who's good and makes Lindelof up his game, kind of like Telles and Shaw, right? Telles was he's probably not as good as Shaw. He can give him a run for his money, and then now Luke Shaw's the best season ever. I love to see that with Lindelof. There should always be competition for United. There should always be intense competition for positions, especially center back and Manchester United. Next bit of news here, sir. You put it in here. It is full on muppetry. You're just teasing me here. Manchester United's Champions League bonus money sparks audacious Cristiano Ronaldo swap deal rumors. This is per Sports Witness via Calcio Mercato. By the way, I clicked on the link. I went to Calcio Mercato. I got the Google Translate of the article to figure out actually what the deal is. And what happens with these Ronaldo rumors is they're pretty much nothing, and they get translated, and then somebody says, oh, Ronaldo to United. Basically, the gist of the article, and people in Italy do know this, Ronaldo's not happy. The Juventus experiment kind of failed. He's 36. He's on a lot of money. And the question is, where is he going to go, right? He probably doesn't want to stay at Juventus. Juventus probably don't want him. They're probably going to break up this summer. The question is, does he go to Real Madrid? They're saying no. I read the article from Calcio Mercato. They said probably not Real Madrid because Zidane doesn't really want him. That totally makes sense. Once you've worked with Ronaldo, you probably don't want to work with him again. The only other place it could make sense, I heard, is that he might want to go to PSG just to like kind of glory ride with Mbappe and Neymar. If they end up signing at PSG, he can just go there, and that would just be absolutely stupid. Which probably that makes the most sense if anything were to happen. United, he's not coming back. I want him to come back. In my heart of hearts, I think he should come back if he has any heart. He should come wear the red for Manchester United and clap the fans, but he's not going to do it because he's only worried about winning the Champions League, and United isn't going to win the Champions League next season.
What about you? Wouldn't take a swap deal straight up, your boy Paul Pogba for your true boy Cristiano Ronaldo?
I don't. But here's the thing: is Ronaldo? So he's on like the last call. So like realistically, how many more years can he play in Europe at the highest level? Like 2, 3, like really 2 or 3 before then he goes to LA Galaxy and like loves it, like totally like. He's what he's going to do. He's going to go to LA. He's going to chum it up with the Galaxy, and he's just going to be on the beach, like doing his thing. So how many more years before that? Like 2 or 3? And then what is he thinking about? Do I need more money or do I need more trophies? I think he needs more trophies. And I think Messi's going to be thinking the same thing this summer as well. I think it's going to be really interesting to see Messi and Ronaldo. I think he's going to move. United are more of a likely target because Madrid aren't going to be in Madrid isn't going to do it. So there is a chance. I just put it 50-50 if he moves or not. And then 80% to like a PSG and then 20% to United. It would have to all the stars have to align, sponsorships, everything has to align. But Mendes did meet with Woody back in the day. I want to say earlier this year. So there were rumors of that meeting. I don't know. What do you think? Trophies or money for Ronaldo? I think it's trophies.
I think he wants both. Wherever he's going to go, whether it's America or PSG or United, they're going to have to pay him fat money. He'll be probably one of the best players on the team, certainly if he goes to America. But even at PSG or United, right, he's going to ask for top dollar. He's still Cristiano Ronaldo. Would I take him?
Yes.
Yeah.
100. Dude, Cavani upgrade. Cavani goes to South America. You get Ronaldo. It's just like, here's the thing with me. It's like the day Ronaldo's announced to play for Manchester United again, I'll probably shed tears. I'll be so happy, sir. It's one of those things, but my heart's been broken so many times. I've come back with open arms so many times, and she's just rejected me over and over that I'm far gone, sir. I can't believe that he's going to make it. The only way it happens is if he falls out with Juve, and then PSG don't want him, nobody wants him, and we're the only ones that will pay him an insane amount of money, which kind of makes sense with Ed Woodward because of the branding deal stuff. And then it falls into our hands, and it's meant to be, and then you kind of get him back, but he didn't want to come back type of thing,
Those always work out great.
You're the fourth choice.
So you're saying there's a chance.
But do you really think there's a market where no one wants Ronaldo?
No, of course people are going to pay for Ronaldo. His name he's still got ability at 36 years old. Maybe not quite as much as Messi does, but The right team, the right coach, the right setup. It's the problem is that ego is big. That's a lot of ego to wrangle in, especially when we're like shipping some egos likely this summer. I don't know. You know, do you do a deal with Ronaldo, have him come in, and all of a sudden you're trying to like nurture all these young kids and build something there, and you bring in like the superstar of superstars, and he starts busting up.
He played with Ole.
I know.
Bro. I mean, he knows Ole. It's like, you know, you would think I don't know how he doesn't want to come back to United. Like, I don't know how he played for us and, you know, like basically like grew up, became the player he is today at United, and there's no nostalgia in him to want to close it out. I'm very surprised he didn't want to come back. He seems more loyal to Real Madrid, who booed him and all this stuff, than he does to Manchester United, who made him. And I think for him, Manchester United is Sir Alex Ferguson, and that's gone. And that's why he doesn't want to come back, or will never come back.
That's what that's what I was going to say, sir, is this the Fergie connect, right? It's like they had like a father-son relationship while he was at United. And also, I think he's not an idiot. I think he knows that United's a poorly run club, right? Like he watches the tea leaves. He's like, this club is run by a bunch of morons. And if I want to go win Champions League, I'm going to go for a team that is, you know, stacking up players that can go and do that.
Yeah, exactly. And why does he want to leave Juve? It's because he's not winning the Champions League. And United's trying to win the Europa League.
Or Serie A, right? They're not winning Serie A or the Champions League.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, we'll keep posting here at the American Red Devils about this Muppetry, sir. You put in Ronaldo stuff, you're going to get at least solid 5 from me about Ronaldo, because I can talk a lot about Ronaldo. So you got to be careful when you put it in the agenda.
So that's why I did put it in the agenda. I know he's just fishing for a new deal, but I wanted to get you riled up, and I'm glad I did.
Sir, next bit of news here, £100 million for a bowl of Declan Rice. David Moyes, you know, tactical genius, hitting back in the press. We were talking about Lingard plus 30, Lingard plus 25. Like essentially Declan Rice was valued at 60. Now the owners say it's 100 million. West Ham owners say Declan Rice is 100 million. He was at England training. It came out. He was asking Manchester United players what it's like to play for United. He's interested. He's game. What does West Ham do? Oh, I'm negotiating against Ed Woodward. I'm going to launch an insane price tag that he's not able to meet. This is what we talked about, is can Ed Woodward get a deal done? And David Moyes, his quote on the price, I don't agree with the owners that Declan Rice is 100 million pounds. Far, far more than 100 million pounds. Far, far more. I look at the players who have joined some clubs from overseas and can come in, and they would have nowhere near the impact of Declan Rice. I wouldn't agree with the owners if he was only 100 million. I've watched the price of some players who have gone to clubs and they cannot lace Declan Rice's boots.
Sorry, he's trying
from David Moyes, and he's just like, he's so sour about United not working out.
Of course he is. He's sour about that. He's sour about us beating them. Sir, he is not worth 100 million. He's not worth over 100 million. And if that's how they're going to do it, and it's going to be another Harry, dude, there are better CDMs that we could get. Use Buscema on Brighton, I think, would be a better player for United, would slot right in. And arguably, he might be better than Declan Rice, and you can get him for probably a third of the price. So this
is the point. Jesse Lingard is going to come back to United because if West Ham are going to say he's 100 million, we're not going to give him Jesse Lingard and then get screwed by, you know what I'm saying? There has to be, something's got to give. You got to be looking for a deal here. And it's like, you're not going to give him Lingard plus 50 million, are you?
No. We have so much other business to do this summer.
But like, they wouldn't even accept that, is what they're saying. And so now Jesse Lingard is probably, you know, this is the whole thing. Woodward needs to be able to do deals. And whenever Manchester United want a player and a player wants Manchester United, they just quote us an insane amount of money.
Sir, it's like the England Connect, and he's in the Premier League. So that those are like two variables driving the price up right there. He's not, dude, he ain't worth no 100 million. You can get Jadon Sancho for 100 million pounds, and he's like a more impactful player. He's a solid player, but it's that like the whole England thing, right? I'd rather buy Jack Grealish for 100 million than Declan Rice.
It comes down if they make Champions League. If they make Champions League, they're not going to sell him. If they miss it, they might be inclined to sell him. But again, 100 million is stupid. We'll see, sir. We'll keep you posted here. American Red Devils is starting to heat up. Transfer Muppetry going crazy.
They are coming. They're coming. The stories are coming thick and fast now, and that means that transfer season is right around the corner, my man.
All right, we'll jump into the fan questions. Thank you for everyone getting the banter. We love to hear from you on Twitter. Jumping into it, at Dave Paz, easy night, good solid performance, clean sheet, and more important, no injuries. Let's go smash Roma, then destroy Arsenal in the final. Ole is definitely at the wheel, sir.
Not yet. Not yet, sir. He's getting closer. If we win that trophy, we are there. We'll ride it all summer. We'll listen to that Europa League club banger, and Ole's at the wheel. Can't wait to hear it again.
At Davey T _ let's win a fucking trophy. Let's go. I love it. It's just like, let's do it. At Rolling Deep 1995, quote, well done team, good effort, good execution, clean sheet. I hope Granada FC dive their way back into the second division. Classless team. So glad we knocked them out and won't see them next year. Roma next, 7-1, question mark?
I certainly hope so. 7-1 on aggregate sounds good. I think if United play up to their ability, it's certainly possible. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's certainly possible.
Sir, that Ronaldo discussion and talking about the 7-1, I'm having those like flashbacks.
Carrick scoring bangers outside the box, my man. I mean, I'd love to see it. That was a great game. Hell of a game.
At Burkett Mets, a lot of positives. Tuanzebe getting some much needed time for his confidence. Juan Mata returning. Big shout out to Juan Mata. Ahmad would have scored, or at least Granada would have seen red if the ref had eyes. Happy days. Totally a terrible call against Ahmad there.
Kind of amazing how bad of a call. We didn't really talk about it that much, but it was because we were through. We had the goals, had a clean sheet, but that was like, there were bad calls all day. That was a pretty bad call.
At Odell Red Devil, semis, here we come. Did our job without question. Another trip to Italy for our men. Best team left by far. We march on. Great point. We are by far the best team in this competition. Obviously, Arsenal have been our boogeymen recently, but we are by far the best team. Paul Pogba, Cavani, Rashford, Maguire. I mean, go through the list. Or we got player Shaw. I mean, we're starting to see like a real solid team coalesce here and on form, and when the bench is playing well. You wish this was the start of the season, sir. If we didn't have this kind of shaky no preseason start to the season, we might be talking title race.
Well, if we had made some reinforcements, if Eddie had done his job and the Glazers weren't sucking every dollar out of this club, there's actually a good argument that, we might have had the depth to do so. But so we're building something. This is a young team with a lot of promise in it and a lot of years left, only going to get better. It was great to see that you see a style of play developing. You just saw the tempo was there today. I know it was Granada, but we could do the same thing against Burnley. We should be able to, brush them aside with ease.
Yeah, Burnley's a big match for us. At GGMU 442, quote, strong professional performance, got some guys some rest, got some guys some minutes. Now let's kick on and take down Mike Smalling and Mickey in the semis. Cue that Hans and Franz. Look, it's been a hell of a season. It's been a hell of a pod, sir. We're in the final stretch. We're talking silverware, Champions League football locked up. That means we're going to say goodbye to Hans and Franz next year. Big things for Manchester United on the up and up, and a strong finish to a crazy, crazy season. Remember that title race? Remember we were in it?
For a week.
Great. A couple of weeks felt amazing.
They did. It was, I want to get back to that feeling, and I want to start next season strong, finish this season strong, of course. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. A strong second, tighten that as much as possible to City. It still matters, man. Even if you don't quite make it, it says a message that you're making progress, which this club certainly is, this team is, this manager is. Let's carry it into next year. Let's have a good summer. Problem is, the onus now goes back onto front office, bro. And front office has been the major deficiency at this club for the last 10 years.
I know, but the problem is, you look at Ole and, all the, too many fans focus on Ole, but it's he's fighting. Remember when Mourinho left, right? Mourinho was the guy before Ole, and he was yelling at the board and, ruined everything and then just drove it into the ground. Ole came in and he's still dealing with the shit board above him and then managing all the terrible contract negotiations, the personalities, everything coming up, right? He's dealing with Riola, he's dealing with Pogba and doing a great job, right? And he's dealing with all this stuff and we look like we're playing well. And then so it's kind of we're going to finish the season strong, hopefully second place, maybe win a trophy. And then it's all right, front office, now it's your turn. All right, board, now it's your turn. And we're just going to see them fumble and drop the ball because there's so many big moves they need to contemplate. Lingard swaps, Pogba swaps, De Gea, like Cavani, like there's so much movement this summer that could just literally destroy all the progress we made this year, that it's just going to be a make or break summer. And I'm really nervous about it, but obviously we got all summer to cover that.
And we will cover that, sir. It's the biggest summer since 13, right? It's the biggest summer since Fergie left and the team needed serious investment and got like, who did they get? Fellaini. That's all they got. The whole window was Fellaini last day, bro. And they overpaid by $7 million. They could have had him a month earlier for less.
I'll never forget that day that we were backpacking. We didn't have service. I think we did like a 5-day backpacking trip in the woods. And we come out and we're driving in the car. There's like no service. There's no service. You get service. What's the first thing you look? It's like transfers. And then you literally tell me, I remember like in the car, you're like, Fellaini. And I'm like,
who else? You're like, who else? I was like, Fellaini. That's it.
I was like, no. I was so upset. And somehow I feel like, that's how Ed Woodward, the era of Ed Woodward started, and we're still in it. And I think we're going to see a bunch of fumbles. I think, the only good part I heard is maybe Sancho, they might cut the price a little bit, sir.
Yeah, from like 108 million pounds to like 93 million pounds. So
maybe they want Jesse Lingard. I don't think
so. They like 18-year-olds. Sir, I think it's a good. You're talking about Fellaini. We're around the pod, but here we go. It's like how I reacted when we signed Cavani. It's like it wasn't a bad signing. It was just like it was desperate because of the last day of the window. Like if they could have signed Fellaini a month earlier and some other players, it wouldn't have been a big deal. But it was like they had nothing left.
The critical part is like, and we criticize Ed Woodward all the time because he's a clown. It's like you have to be getting the deals done now. You have to, like the young center back at Fulham, if we want him, you got to get that deal done now. So the season ends, you like announce half of your business like already done, and then you can be opportunistic. The whole point is like get what you need done soon, so then you can be opportunistic in the window instead of letting what you need drag. Everyone knows it, and everyone's going to overcharge you, and then you're negotiating for a position of weakness. And it's just scramble city. We can't be leaving multiple transfers to the last day. We can't be leaving number 9 at Manchester United to the last day, sir. It's like you gotta have a plan. Premeditated, partner.
I think that's conscious, mate. I actually think like it's part of the game. It's like they have no money to spend. They have no intention of putting more money into the club so we can spend on transfers. So
it's the biggest football club in the world.
Of course it is, but it's run by parasites who have no respect for the club and what it means to so many people and the history. It's like, dude, I know they live much closer to another sports franchise, but that doesn't even like come in a shadow of a comparison to Manchester United and what kind of club this is. So that's the problem, is that they drag them out because they're not doing transfers. That's why we made Sancho last all summer and then had nothing to show.
They have to make moves this year. You like literally have to make moves, and you have to make really good moves. Like, and I'm really worried that they're going to drop the ball. But it's going to be a hell of a summer, like you said, probably the biggest since 2013. Sir, we are the American Red Devils. That's the podcast. We are for fans, by fans. Support the podcast on Patreon, www.patreon.com/AmericanRedDevils. Check out our website, www.americanreddevils.com. Check out our store while you're there. Write a review on iTunes, sir. Give us our top 10 downloads last 7 days.
Sir, number 1, how you doing? Croydon, UK, how you doing? Dublin, Ireland, appreciate you. Columbus, Ohio. Placentia, California. Rohert Park, California. Hotlanta, Georgia. LA, California. Rockaway, New Jersey. How we doing, Jersey Shore? Chicago, Illinois, and last but not least, Oslo, Norway. Appreciate all the downloads. All the American Red Devils listening week in, week out. We couldn't do it without you. The greatest club in the world. For fans, by fans, sir. We could go all night. Let's talk more about Fellaini.
How dare you put Ronaldo in the news?
It worked.
I'm supposed to be trolling you, not the other way around. How dare you?
Yeah, sir. Master and apprentice, right? Is that what they say?
Sir, it's been a hell of a season. Going to be a strong finish, as always.
Kicking a blue.